everybody, I wanted to try something different today because due to demand from my friends who were interested in seeing this, I decided I was going to try and voice over my thoughts when I am in a fight, specifically when I'm in a group fight getting ganked, or when I'm the one doing the ganking. So you'll see a couple of different situations I recorded over the past week and a half, and I figured that'd be interesting to try out. So, uh, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started with this Centurion. It's kind of basic, so I'm not too worried about him. I caught on once he ate a raw heavy. I kind of knew what he was all about, and just decided I was going to bum rush him because he was going to fall for all my feints. Even if it took me out of stamina, I was going to finish him off to get over here. So I survey the area and see that they have taken out the Orochi, and the only one left is the Nobushi, who's coming back up. So I decided to confront because I have the most health and keep her distracted with me specifically so that they can stay back and kind of just, avoid feeding revenge if need be. My buddy is Gladiator and he knows how to play the character. Word of advice, if you are playing as Gladiator in a group fight, toe poke. It is really strong because every toe poke, essentially, if timed correctly, can guarantee a heavy from any character in the game. You can get a Lawbringer's top heavy if you time it correctly with a toe poke. And as you can see, the Orochi has gotten revenge, and as I'm fighting the Centurion, a Raider comes in. Now the Raider starts assaulting me, keeping me distracted. But before I can eat any real damage, the Gladiator comes in to back me up. And we're kind of just target switching over and over. This is very, very important for group fights. You want to keep target switching as much as you can, specifically if you have if you're playing as a character with hyper armor, because some players, actually a good decent number of players, do not know how to handle a target switch. They don't realize you're targeting them, and they will take a raw heavy sometimes. No need to finish this off. The Rochi's pretty much toast, as you saw there. I turn around and I see that we have pretty much killed the entire team at least twice over, have all 3 points, and that's the end of this clip. On to the next one. On to Yorman Gander now. Basically with Yorman Gander, what you want to do is, in a group fight, as you'll see here, and as you've seen with many of my videos with Yorm, survive and try to keep hitting them with punches. Anything that can give you your health back until you can pop revenge. You want to stay defensive while also every once in a while throwing gut punches out. And try to get guard breaks as best you can when you're in revenge so that you can get those free hammer slams, because those will ruin everyone's day, as you can see here. Now both of these guys aren't that good, so it wasn't that hard to deal with them, but as you can see, I'm at relatively low health, but at the same time this guy just let me get a raw guard break off of him, and that's it. Moving on. Next up is Lawbringer, a character I'm not good with. Basically, I see I'm fighting a Shigoki, so I'm going to be trying to use the character's movement more than anything to try and avoid the attacks. And I see a Kensei coming next. I know how to fight Kenseis, and they're group fighting me. Basically, you just try to hold out, get parries when you can, and try to get that revenge. It's the best thing I can tell anybody. I pop revenge, and instead of trying to throw him, I look at and see that he has Rocksteady, so there's no point even trying. And as you can see here, still just parry, just keep parrying the Kensei, because most Kenseis just try to throw heavies on you. So the best thing to do is turtle up until you see them throw that top unblockable, and they will usually soft feint into one of the side heavies. If they do that, that's a free parry, and you get a free parry punish real quick. The Orochi has popped fear itself, and I am dead. On to the next clip. More Lawbringer here. I see that I'm running into a 1v3. It's now a 2v3. My teammate is pretty much dead, and it's going to be on me to try and hold this as long as I can. And as you can see, I am pretty much just not trying to attack in any way. I am biding my time, trying to get them to hit me or let me get parries so that I can get some revenge. And see, now that I have it, I can wait for one of them to try to hit me, because once they do that, I can knock them to the ground and get a free top heavy with Lawbringer. But they both have immediately backed down and refuse to actually engage. So I just decided to pop it because I knew he was going to throw himself back, and was able to get the free guard break. The Yorm kind of messed up my punish there, but it's fine. And now the PK is dead, as you can see. Target switching, you guys have to pay attention to that stuff, I'm telling you. Here I am trying to get a quick ledge, but the Yorman Gander does not seem to catch on to that, and so they're trying to stop me. But I get it anyway because mind games. On to the end of this same match. Both teams are breaking, we are losing, and I'm being revived, luckily. And I see there are 2 people left on their team, and there's 3 of us, or all 4 of us are alive. So what I'm doing is I'm staying over here to try and give support as best I can to our Yorman Gander, pelting with bombs, trying not to actively engage to feed revenge, because I know what Yorm can do with revenge. I see that he has revenge, so I stay away. I play it smart. I go for a guard break the moment he's done with his hammer slam, because he is... Most people do not realize this, but that is not a guaranteed guard break. You can counter guard break out of that. And you will see here that my team is not the brightest because they just keep feeding revenge. Which, this is a Yorman Gander. They will destroy all of us. Yorman Gander is pretty much the perfect character to represent the World Serpent, the destroyer of Midgard, because this character wipes everything if you do not pay attention. If you are caught sleeping against them, they ruin your day. So I'm sitting here waiting for my moment. I have 2 bombs and I just pelt both of them. Fight's over. Next clip. Onto a 1v1 now with a Shigoki. Same as before with the Shigoki, I'm playing Lawbringer, so I'm trying to use more of my movement options and avoid the hug, as you saw there. Now he has Rocksteady, as all good Gokis will use, because if you don't use Rocksteady with the 2 characters that have it, you are not playing the characters right. The problem is with this Goki is they are too predictable with that hug. They release it at the same time every time they do it, so I've kind of caught on to their shenanigans. The only problem I have with this match is that Lawbringer should have hyper armor. He just should. But I'll get to that. I'll talk about that in another video. Next clip. Moving on to Kensei, and we are playing customs with some of my friends here. Kind of just goofing off, but I always take these moments to try and think of interesting strategies to deal with certain group fight situations here. So we are currently winning. We have just the Warden by himself. His Shigoki is on his team, which he's there now. And the Warden is dead, so now we focus on Tree, who is playing the Shigoki. So I know how he's going to play Shigoki, but that's not going to make me try to take him any less lightly than normal when it's Shigoki. So I heal myself. I figure out what he's going to do. He's just constantly throwing an attack and then target switching. And then all of a sudden the Warden comes back. So I'm basically at this moment trying to figure out what I'm going to do here, because I just realized my teammate's dead. Shigoki's popped 4 feet. Throw that, throw a side heavy, Shigoki's dead. And just back away, and fight's over. Next clip. Fun little 1v1 I caught with this guy was actually pretty cool. He was honorable, which you should not be in 4v4 matches. You should be just trying to win, but this guy was, so we decided to be nice. And I decided I was going to fight him while they were breaking, and he made the critical mistake there of going for a top light. If you're playing Tiandi and you miss that palm strike, do not throw the light. You have a better chance of getting it if you throw the heavy, if you're going to throw at all. I wouldn't recommend throwing at all, but if you're going to, use the heavy. You get hyper armor on it. You can do the trade. This guy's also apparently not played a lot of Tiandi because he is not feinting the kick, and the mix-up gets him. Okay. Okay, so I'm fighting the same enemy, the Tiandi from the last clip. So the same rule applies. He's playing Tiandi, I'm playing Lawbringer. He's at an advantage, but Lawbringer can deal decent damage if he can get heavies in. It's just getting those heavies, that's the tricky part. But he has an issue with letting that kick fall through, which really hurts him. He falls for the feint, which gives me the free top heavy into light. And as I'm about to continue, I get hit with a tomahawk behind me, turn around, and see a Zerk and a gladiator behind me. The gladiator is trying to stay back and try not to feed, but the Zerk does need help because he is pretty predictable for the most part. Most of the time, the reason why he's hitting me is because I am worried about eating a unblockable from the gladiator. I pop revenge, get back up, and take out the gladiator, and as you saw in the corner there, the berserker ran away. Next clip. Okay, back to Tiandi, and crushing counter the shaman, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a lot of shamans like to throw that. And I get a free light parry, so I punish and finish him off. Get hit by a Shaolin. Was not able to react to the heavy in time, but he is dealt with swiftly because he did not pay attention to the enemies that he was running into. Or maybe he did, he just didn't care. Alright, and this is a different clip. There's 3 of them now. The Centurion is getting messed up by both the Shaman and the Shinobi for the most part. Shinobi's kind of target switching, but for the most part I'm doing with the Nobushi, trying to take her out real quick, and I do. So now it's just me versus these 2. I go for a zone and I hit the wall by accident. I get the revenge and accidentally go for a zone for that. Cannot stop the res in time, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. These 2 aren't that good. Teammate Griffin hits her with a crossbow, healing me. I kill her and go for the forward dashing heavy, which gives me the kill, and I finish them off. And I go for the really long execution just to kind of style and mock, I guess, the Shinobi, and immediately get hit, and I see this coming at me, which it's not going to be a good fight, but as you'll see here, I'm not really able to because the kick guarantees I die. Now back into it, I res, come back, and you see here I'm fighting the Griffin. Griffin's just target switching kind of haphazardly, not really bearing up his attacks. Kills the Griffin on my team with a crossbow. I get kicked, eat a raw heavy because of it. I go for a zone. She pops the fire flask, gives me revenge. I come in to hit her, gives me health back. Fun fact for anyone who doesn't really play a lot of Tiandi but complains about stuff like bleed bombs and stuff like that. If you have that 3rd feat, and if you can just keep hitting with lights, you can heal the bleed stack. So you can essentially survive a nail bomb. It's just really difficult. But as you see here, I kind of finish off them. It's ugly, but it's worth it. It worked. Alright, next fight, I am playing Peacekeeper, as you can see here. And I am fighting a Shaolin. Now, I am not good with Peacekeeper, but I can kind of BS with her a little bit. Just from before the patch. I really enjoy what the patch did for her in Nobushi. As you'll see, I have some Nobushi clips coming up as well. I catch on to what he is doing and get a light parry here, get a heavy, finish him off. He's not that hard to beat, but it was just figuring out his pattern. But once I figured it out, I kind of had him. Lawbringer comes in next. I go for a zone. I typically go for a zone off of a guard break with certain characters because of how fast they are. Some people will anticipate this and punish you for it, but most people will not. I get a light parry because I anticipate he's going to go for a top light, because the majority of Lawbringers will go for a top light after any kind of heavy or parry. So he goes into key stance for no reason, eating a heavy. I get a guard break and get 2 pokes, get a free light because I caught on to that fact that he kept throwing lights from that side. And throw a light just to finish him off real quick. Next clip. Alright, back to Peacekeeper. This is further on in the same match. Fighting their Berserker, and their Hitakiri is here, as well as, I believe, yeah, it's their Lawbringer. Their Lawbringer's been debuffed by our Griffin, and I see that. So I start to focus on him. Try to get as much health out of him as I can. And I see that our teammate has been taken down by the Hitakiri, or the Berserker, excuse me. And our Griffin goes to focus on that, so I start to fight him. I guess the light correctly and get a free heavy, finishing him off. And I come in to help him out, and fight's over. Next clip. Alright, back to Lawbringer. He's kind of just not paying attention. And so he eats all this damage quickly because he was not paying attention to the game, and that's what happens if you look away from the screen, even when you're boosting. That's why when I'm playing, I do not look at my phone or anything unless specifically I am at the menu or something like that. And you see why that hurts him. Next clip. Alright, on to Nobushi. We're kind of just sitting here goofing off because at least 2 of them keep coming up here, so we've kind of just been able to wipe them out pretty quickly. For those of you who aren't the best players or are still trying to figure out some of the mechanics, what we're doing here is actually not optimal in the slightest. You want to have 1 person on point, yeah, you want to try to have, if you're controlling all 3 points, to have 1 person on each point, and then 2 that are running around. You want the 2 fastest characters, the ones running around. So your heaviest, slowest characters would stay on point. Nobushi would be one of those that would run around if need be. But as you can see here, I'm kind of just alternating between enemies the best I can. It is a Highlander and a Gladiator, so I'm not that worried about the Glad. It's the Highlander I'm scared of because he's a little busted at the moment, but we take care of it pretty easily. It's not much of an issue, and I decided to fuck with my friend, and this is his response.
Little bitch.
Talk, I'm reporting you.
I'm reporting you!
Okay, I have 2 more clips for the night. So this is the end of that same match. I am able to stop them from getting a res, even if it puts me at risk of being here by myself. If you are winning by this much, don't worry about feeding. There's no way they can feasibly catch up to you to be a problem, usually. But I decided to focus on the Glad and just turn off the brain, heavy kick, and eventually them off, ending the match. And on to the final clip of the video. I am playing Peacekeeper, and I'm fighting this is a literal brand new player. He's only rep 5, as you can see from his gameplay. I start to feel bad for him, but not bad enough to, not gank. Because I could make it a lot worse. There's a couple of clips a couple of moments in this fight, or in this match, in which I'm just sitting here deflecting him, trying to get him to catch on that I can't do that, so he stops throwing heavies. I catch on if there's a Shigoki, and I'm almost dead, so I should be dead here. But I get 2 bleed pokes, throw him into the wall, get the 3rd one. I'm kind of just dancing around, because if he taps me once, I'm dead. The his teammate is dead, so I am now kind of just focusing on staying back and being very, very careful. I throw a heavy out of stamina, and it connects some because he misses the parry, and that's the end of it. That's the end of the video, and I hope you all enjoyed this. Good night.